Welcome to an explosive episode of Monday Movie Pickup. So I got a couple things this week. I checked out a friend's collection in the area, and there's not too many people in the area who have a Blu-ray collection quite like this, but I actually found someone who had something comparable, and they actually had a few things that I don't have in my own collection, so I made sure to buy them. Sometimes you have to watch for that stuff because a lot of stuff likes to go out of print. But I'm also taking Patreon requests again, so that's why I have Encanto here. Of course, I have all the other Walt Disney animation films, so I had to get this one eventually. Someone requested it, and I actually saw it in theaters before it really hit it big on Disney+. And, just for my immediate reaction, I liked it, but I didn't love it as much as a lot of people have come out to love it. I saw this in theaters, and I didn't hear much about it at all. But then it hit Disney+, and all the kids started singing the songs, and people are, really into the film, and there are a lot of good aspects to it, but I guess you'll have to see the review. But, overall, it wasn't something I absolutely admired. I'll talk about it in the review. But also, I will have to do Fly Away Home, which is this film with Jeff Daniels that I had no idea what it's about, but it was requested on Patreon. It surprisingly had a Blu-ray release, and maybe that's not surprising. Maybe this has a huge following that I don't realize, but this was the first time I had ever even heard of the film, so if you've heard of it, let me know what you think. I also am continuing to get the winners of the Best Picture, the Oscar for Best Picture. I have that, I'm running out of room on that shelf just as I stare at it. I was hoping there'd be enough room just to fit every single winner, but I don't think I'm gonna quite have enough room. But here is Gigi, which, is another one of those Best Picture winners that I've heard is lower tier. The only thing I do know is that this Blu-ray has quite a few special features, so that's pretty awesome. And I have here a Shout Select release. This is colors. I have had the VHS for quite a few years, but I was waiting to upgrade it because I knew the Shout Select edition was coming out, but then this has been not out of print on the Shout website, but it hasn't been available in quite a while. They haven't restocked it, so a lot of the prices on Amazon and eBay are getting really high for pretty much no reason, because there's no reason to think this is out of print. It shouldn't be. Not yet, anyway. But I finally saw a version of this that was available on eBay for a pretty good price, and I figured, yeah, you know what, I should finally get this, because I am trying to finally get rid of whatever VHSs I can, upgrading them to Blu-ray. Inner Sanctum Mysteries. So there's a list of Universal horror movies that I follow from Cinemassacre, and a lot of the releases are down here. I got some of the Universal Monsters, other Universal horror movies that were released by Shout Factory, and then there's all these kind of one-off films, and the list from Cinemassacre is actually from an older book that includes a lot of movies that aren't technically horror films, but it's part of the list, so I kind of wanted to see if I could get a lot of them on Blu-ray, and these Inner Sanctum films were included, but from what I've heard, they're not that great, and I guess it makes sense that Universal would allow Mill Creek to release them on Blu-ray. Unfortunately, they put a bunch of movies just on 2 discs, so there's not individual discs for each film, so it's not as well done as the Shout Factory sets that have been done for other Universal horror movies, but still, it's pretty cool that you can get all these Inner Sanctum movies in one set, and this was extremely affordable. I don't know what the quality of these movies look like, and as for the actual movies themselves, I don't know if they're any good, if there's really anything to say about them, but it's kind of weird. I'm talking about a Cinemassacre list that is already based on a Universal horror book that has a whole lot of movies that aren't even Universal horror, and here I am trying to get every one of those movies on Blu-ray. Scream Factory release of Army of Darkness. I heard there was going to be a 4K release of this to go alongside the Evil Dead box set that included every film except for Army of Darkness, but I haven't seen anything else about it. Now, I'm not too worried about getting the 4K release. In fact, this release is super awesome. It's got 3 discs. It's got 4 different cuts on here. International cut, the television cut, the director's cut, and of course the original theatrical cut. And just a bunch of special features. And, it's about time I upgraded my Blu-ray. I know they have the deleted scenes for the alternate ending, or as I remember, I believe it was Sam Raimi's preferred ending to the film. So, yeah, it was about time I upgraded, because this basically has all of that except even more. More Blu-rays, more cuts, super awesome. Robocop 2, Robocop 3. Now, I like the first Robocop a lot, and there is a different version that you can get of these movies that come in like a 2-pack. But I figured, you know, if again, I'm using that logic that they use for the Poltergeist sequels, but if I'm gonna get crappy movies, or, you know, I haven't even seen these, so maybe they're great, but I've always heard that Robocop 2, not that great, Robocop 3, one of the worst. So, I mean, if I'm gonna get movies that I've heard are crappy, I might as well get the versions that at least have a bunch of special features. I'm a completionist, it's a disease, it really is, but still, super cool releases from Scream Factory, if you can see that disc there. And yeah, this one even came with a slipcover, which surprised me because I waited quite a few years to finally get these releases. So apparently out there you can still get Robocop 3 with the slipcover. And last but not least, Maximum Overdrive. Now, all I've ever heard about this movie is AC/DC and the whole thing with the semi that has the Green Goblin's head on it for some reason. I don't know. This is the only... I believe Stephen King actually directed this. Yeah, he actually directed this. I believe this is the only movie he ever directed. And come on. Stephen King's movies are already crazy, so imagine if he's also in the director's chair. I don't collect the Vestron video series releases, but I have a few of these, so, you know... Maybe I should start collecting them, but of course it's going to go the way of Shout Select and just get out of hand. So if anybody who watches this show, they know I just go too far with some of those collections. But thanks for watching. That's this week's pickups, and I'm really hoping I'm not back Monday because I'd like to maybe slow down on buying some of these Blu-rays. I had a week off, at least, so I was able to stay true and not buy something for a little bit. I gotta get off of Amazon.
Thanks for watching the video, and special shout out to Lauren, Anthony, Anna, Kirsten, Spencer, Lucas, Ryan, and Robert for supporting me on Patreon. By joining my Patreon, you can get exclusive blogs and videos, and for just $7, you can get your own monthly movie review. I hope you stick around, Cinephile, and have a happy, productive day.